What is going on? What is going on? We are back in black in the building. Good morning to everybody that's out there in the world today handling business. Shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. Shout out to everybody that's handling business. Tasha, Mariah, Shawnee, Erica, 066, Dave for No Compromise. You know, all the people that I frequently deal with and talk to about these subject matters. You already know I'm hit y'all with it. Today's Sunday, so I'm hit you. Did Jesus come back today? Did he come back? Oh, God damn. Y'all been hooping and hollering and speaking in tongue and I shut that that's bullshit. But the dominant society, the white supremacists going oops upside your head. Said oops upside your head. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody out there. You know, if you're teaching Sunday school, hey, much love, power, respect to you. Shout out to the homegirls, Noop, and Roxanne, man. Shout out to them as well. Man, we got a great thing to discuss today. I hope everybody is, where everybody start their morning with. I know what. You got to start your morning, let me guess. Teaching Sunday school, that's got to be it. You know, that's what most people do. Man, it's a lot going on and it's a lot to discuss, but these are just things that we're gonna get to the crux of and start talking about these subject matters. Oh, my bad, I didn't even say this shit. There we go. So much power and respect to everybody out there at the Corporate Plantation. We gonna get into it, man. I just hope everybody is focusing on them and reading these stories and reading what's going on and understanding what the hell is happening. Let me, we're gonna get into it right now. Let me cut the music down a little bit. Hey, got the little sexy music going on. Man. I talked about a story similar to this before, where a black couple, they owned a home. They was trying to get it appraised, and it was like $250,000 under, you know, what the comps were in the neighborhood. So they went and got a white realtor to show the house. Then they got their extra two. You know what I mean? I think the house, it was being appraised at like $350,000 when it was worth like $650,000 or $550,000. They had a white real estate agent show the house and then it went up. That's the shit that we go through. So when a motherfucker, see, this is the thing that, you know, it makes me laugh. Like again, my brother David, I know eventually we're gonna have conversations about this too, the real estate game. And I will be uploading. We just had great spaces. So I'll be uploading that too. This is what's so funny. When people try to say things like, oh, you know, ain't no racism and I can't believe y'all giving these white people so much credit and all this other stuff, I'll be laughing because I'll be like, well, you must don't know racism and white supremacy is. It's a system. And I feel like just because people are doing good individually, they think that everybody is supposed to just do the same thing as them. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and that this is true. But everybody's socialized and engineered differently, wired differently, taught differently. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what the system of racism and white supremacy was in its entirety before, but I do now from reading books like the ISIS Papers, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Joy DeGrew's Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. When you read those books, Medical Apartheid, J. Edgar Hoover's Secret FBI, The Burglary, when you start reading those type of books, you read the book Stolen, you start reading books like Patty Cannon, you start reading those books, you start to really open up your mind to see exactly how deep this racist bullshit goes. And I think it is up to us to stay focused, stay on point, and I think we can band together. You know, and I know y'all probably see that picture, you know, home appraised with a black owner, $472,000, with a white owner, $750,000. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to see if I can get, I want to see if I get some video about it here. Hold on, let's see. Because they be lying talking about they can find your video. Then you look for the video. There ain't no fucking video. There we go. Here we go. Let's see. Let me see what I can play. Is it gonna play?
An Indianapolis woman claims the appraisal is cut by more than half.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, I got one. All right, just bear with me for a second. Let's play this.
Half, simply because of her race. Carlette Duffy, who is black, suspected she was being lowballed on the true value of her property on 2 separate appraisals. So she removed pictures of herself and other items from her home and had a white male friend stand in for her during a 3rd appraisal. She watched the price rise from $110,000 to $259,000. Joining us now, Carlette Duffy, and joining her is Amy Nelson, the executive director of Fair Housing Center of Central Indiana, a fair housing nonprofit assisting Carlette with her complaint. Carlette, first of all, wow. I mean, this is an amazing story. What made you suspect that something was up, and how did you come up with this plan?
Well, the language from the first appraisal is what really sent red flags up for me. And the language had to deal with, it was talking about COVID, about it being COVID and I should try later. And also talked about the construction quality of my home and that surrounding neighborhoods, especially those to the south, had superior construction quality. And the neighborhood to the south of me is actually another historic black neighborhood, but that neighborhood has been gentrified.
Ding, 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 ding. Gentrified. Gentrification. Y'all need to know what that is. Go look it up. Know the terms, know what it is, know what it looks like. Gentrification, where it can be a solid black neighborhood, and they let the neighborhood go to shit. The city, the council, everyone, they don't care. And then what they do is when they start running out of room, or when they want that neighborhood, they'll start to put money back into the same neighborhood, which means you'll see a rundown, raggedy houses. They'll tear them down, restore them, rebuild them, and then you'll see white people living there. And then they'll price all the property around that out of the game, which means you can't afford. Let's say the house is going for $250,000. They tear down one model house, destroy it, rebuild it, put a white person in there. Now all the houses around are gonna be fucking $750,000, $650,000. That's what they do. And they'll price it so high where black folk can't afford to live over there. And then what ends up happening is a lot of black people, if they bought the house for $100,000 and now, the appraisal goes for $600,000, most black people, they're going to sell it because they're going to get a $500,000 increase, especially if it's Big Mama house and it's paid for. That's why sometimes it's not good to just sell. Sometimes it's good to hold on to your property because you never know exactly what the neighborhood is going to turn into. You never know what might happen, where they might need to just make your offer you can't refuse. But sometimes it's not just good to sell, especially when you're dealing with gentrification and you're dealing with things like that, because we have to know what's going on. When you black and white America, and when you're dealing with this system of racism and white supremacy, they don't want you owning no property, no way. So whatever property you do own, you better hold on to it. And for our people that don't own properties, this should be inspiration to want to own something, because once you own, there's different things that you could do. Claim it on your taxes, whatever interest you're paid, you can borrow your home, you can rent it out. There's just so many different avenues that you can do. And this is what we need to start teaching our youth today about home ownership.
So when I read actually I was at a meeting with Amy, and Amy was discussing consent decrees and as it pertains to banks and whether or not they were following what they were ordered to do in the communities of color. And she talked about an appraisal that happened in Florida. And that case was sent to me at approximately like the same time by a good friend of mine. And so when I read it, I said, this is something that I have to do.
Amy, you can speak to how often this kind of thing occurs. I do want to mention that CNN reached out to the appraisal companies that are cited in your complaint from the first 2 appraisals that got you the $110,000 and $125,000 appraisal. They deny that discrimination took place.
Well, of course they're going to deny it. They're a corporation, and imagery-wise, it doesn't look right. Look, that's covert racism. See, I like overt racism. Just be blunt and up front. Like all this, oh no, that's that fake West Coast Hollywood racism. I don't like that. See, I like down south racism. We don't fuck with niggas over here. And they telling you straight out. And this is why we don't fuck with niggas. At least you know where you stand. See, that covert racism is some shit you deal with at the court plantation. When they say, oh, you did very well, but we're just, you're just not quite a good fit for what we're looking for. We're going to go in a different direction. That's covert racism.
But explain, Amy, I think this is a key point, what happened here, the way those appraisal companies decided on that number. They were looking at comps, so comparative house sales for homes that were actually farther away from Carlette's house than the other appraisal that yielded what you think clearly is a more fair appraisal dollar value.
Yeah, so the fair housing complaints that have been filed will be investigated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And one of the things
Okay, that's all. We don't need no more of that, because that you just basically telling us that white people are going to investigate other white people. I don't give a fuck about that shit, because we already know what the outcome is. This is a couple, I think I did a podcast on them before, and they said the same thing. Now, this is an old couple, but they're saying the same thing. That's why we have to restore the intrinsic value in each other. So black people want to buy your house and not stop worried about what the dominant society want to do, because this is what happens. You have to get you're going to get a dominant society person to sell your house, because guess what? They're going to price out the game if it's somebody that looks like them. But if it's not somebody that looks like them, we can give you $250,000. Hey man, but the comps around here is $450,000. Yeah, but you're a nigger. That's basically what they're saying. Here we go.
Home in the Marin City area of Northern California in 2016. It came with a coveted view of the bay, but a long to-do list.
It just needed a lot of work, but we was up to the task.
And their work paid off, or so they thought. According to court documents, the Austins added a deck, a gas fireplace, and additional living space. In January of 2020, with the build-out almost finished, they decided to refinance and take some cash out of the property. They got an appraisal.
It was right before COVID hit, so the rates were extremely low. So we were trying to refinance to take advantage of the low rates.
And to their surprise, the appraiser wrote in her report that the house was only worth $995,000.
We were sick to our stomach. We was upset. We was angered.
I was disappointed because, one, I knew that the house was worth more than that. And secondly, because we needed the house to appraise for a certain amount in order for us to be able to pull out the capital in it. And when it didn't come in at that, it was devastating.
They suspected that the seeming lowball valuation from an appraiser who happened to be a white woman may have had something to do with their race or their location or both. Marin City has a sizable African-American population, unlike Marin County, which is mostly white.
She considered us living in Marin City and devalued our home based off of that.
Yeah, and saw blackface.
So they decided to put the
I like that, brother. And saw blackface. Let's put that in there, too.
Suspicions to a test. They requested yet another appraisal and got a female friend who was white to come to the house to meet the appraiser to make it look like this was her house.
I contacted her and I said, we have our appraisal came in low. We have another appraiser coming. Can you come and be me?
But that's not all they did. Wow. They also removed any evidence that black people even lived there. A process that's been called whitewashing.
Whitewashing. We have to, we know these terms, but this is terms that are being done in business. And this ain't nothing new. This is old. This has been going on. That's why you get a white attorney, or you get a white real estate agent, a white salesman for a car, that type of stuff. That's been going on. You know what I mean? To the point where you at the court plantation, you rather have a white boss, because niggas, they get power struck and they want to treat niggas like shit.
Took down everything that resembled that this home belonged to us.
Yeah, or to an African-American family.
Art, pictures.
even I would say even my hair products, I put them away so that someone would be tipped off by them.
A different appraiser, also a white woman, according to the Austins, who visited the house in February of 2020, came back with a valuation of more than $1,482,500. An appraisal 49% higher than the previous one. In dollars, that's a $487,500 difference between two appraisals that came about 3 weeks apart. In federal court, the Austins have sued the appraiser, Jeanette Miller, who gave them the lower estimate, alleging housing discrimination. Miller did not respond to several requests to either make a statement, grant an interview, or put us in contact with her lawyer. Devaluation of the property values and rights of African Americans and Hispanics is a deeply rooted American tradition that's starting to attract more attention in Washington. And it's not always about million-dollar homes. Andre Perry, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, writes about it.
We found that homes in black neighborhoods are underpriced by 23%, about $48,000 cumulatively. There's about $156 billion in lost equity in black.
Man. It's just saying that dude that was reporting, that motherfucking voice was crazy. But this is what's going on. Oh, and you're like, damn, why you talking about this? Let me tell you why I'm talking about this. Because just because you buy a home, don't think that you scot-free, that you in the money and all. No, you're not in the money. That's one. So let's just keep that focused. You're not in the money. That's one. And two, we have to understand what the fuck is going on. You need to understand that. You have to understand that, hey, man, just because you buy a home and you're a homeowner don't mean that, now everything is downhill now. You don't have to go uphill. Man, that's just the first part. Now you have to deal with home discrimination, real estate discrimination. You got to remember, you're still black in these homes, and they know that. So you have to understand and know the social game rules and know what the fuck is going on. That's why it's very important. I did this today, because this is kind of near and dear to my heart because, in my family, real estate isn't really that big because we haven't been socialized and taught that. That's why. When you've been socialized and you've been taught that, then it's different. I just happened to be around a lot of people at the time when I was out here in Vegas, 03, 04, 05. A lot of people were homeowners and trying to buy a home. So that kind of prompted me to want to do something different for myself. But it wasn't something that was socially engineered into a lot of my family members and my relatives because, it seems like such a big accomplishment that you could never accomplish, which that's a limiting belief system. It's not hard to accomplish buying a home. You just got to be disciplined. And you got to know what you're doing, and you got to make sure that you put the house first. You can't be out partying, kicking it, and fucking and chilling and smoking. Like, you got to be disciplined. And I feel like I want more of us to be in tune with realty, and real estate and owning homes and understanding the power behind that and understanding that we only have power when we're together. So imagine if you buy a home and then you affect somebody else. Shout out to my nigga Leo. And you affect somebody else and they go buy a home. And then then so on and so on, because it's about home ownership. You know what I mean? Remember, they have locked and boxed us out of the nation's wealth, as Dr. Claude Anderson talks about. So if they've already boxed and locked us out of it, we got to get with people that understand what's going on. And you saying, well, why you say that, Warren? Because look around you. Just look around you to your average homeboys, homegirls, just people you kick it with or whatever. The average people, man, they not owning homes. And even if they do own homes, they're not teaching the generation behind them the importance behind owning a home and the importance behind, hey, you're going to be racially discriminated against because you're a black homeowner. Oh, I know that just from dealing with white folk myself. You know what I mean? And they shocked. They look at you like you just came out of the echo chamber at the pyramid. Like, they can't believe it. Because that's not socialized to us to be homeowners and do that stuff. It's socialized for us to, party, kick it, chill, you know what I mean? And, fuck worrying about a home and fuck worrying about all that. Nah, man, that's very imperative. And even if so, they're gonna change they're going to change the rules. They're gonna move the goalposts and change the rules. Look at those 2 articles I played where both times they're like, okay, what's it praised at? Oh, only $900,000. Okay, but let me get a white lady to appraise it. What's it appraised at now? Oh, $1.4 million. Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. Because this is the shit that they do. First of all, I've said this a million times. I want to meet the people that's appraising the homes. I want to sit down with them on camera and meet and say, now you tell me, how do you come up with the price value for these homes? What do you do? Are you have a master's degree in economics on home development? You tell me how you come up with these numbers and explain it to me in detail. Now, I don't want to hear nobody else's explanation. I want to hear the motherfucker who worked there sit down and tell me what it is, not just some shit. Because let me tell y'all something. These mortgages are created out of thin air. I want everybody, whoever's listening to this, go Google Jerome Daly out of Minnesota. He took the mortgage company to Supreme Court because their motherfuckers was trying to take his house, and he was like, well, y'all don't even have no collateral. They was like, yeah, we do. He's like, okay, what is it? And them motherfuckers was like, well, yeah, we have, where's the bank? He's like, okay, but what's your collateral? Because you just made this mortgage up out of thin air. You don't actually have $150,000. You just made it up. And he won. And the Supreme Court sided with him. So they can make the mortgage and interest rates whatever the fuck they want to make it for. You have to understand, we fighting the battle uphill and we have to fight it together. So stop blocking for the other team and block for your own people. And stop all this self-hate and getting around niggas that don't want to support, don't want to recycle black dollars, and don't want to support black businesses. You know, I was dealing with a black business. You know, they made a couple mistakes, but I didn't go in there complaining. I didn't say no bullshit. I was very patient and, you know, did my emails, do my due diligence, and I finally was able to get, you know, some of my product or whatever, and I was happy. You know, and I wasn't complaining because we have to understand, man, we got to give black businesses their just due. You understand what I'm saying? You know, motherfuckers want to be successful and they want to be balling, they want to be this, but they don't even want to support a black business. And then as soon as the black business fuck up one time, see, here how these niggas go. Ain't nothing wrong with complaining. Ain't nothing wrong with being frustrated, but still support that black business. Be patient with them. Stop acting like you giving them your last month's rent. Some of the products that these black businesses is only going for $50, $100. Stop. Motherfucker don't get their product. See, this business here. These motherfuckers is bullshit. It's like, hey, man, be patient. Start doing your research on being a better individual for the generation coming behind you. Start doing more research on being a homeowner. And for all you baby boomers and parents, y'all dangling this money and this in front of kids and relatives, you gotta stop doing that, man. I'm watching this thing about I forgot this series. It's on Apple TV, and it's called We Crashed, and it's about this Jewish dude. He's Israeli, and then he married a white Jewish woman, and it's a true story. And you know they Jewish. They get married or whatever, do the Jewish, thing or whatever. Dominant society, Jewish people. And it didn't look like she had a whole bunch of money. It didn't look like her parents had a whole bunch of money. But her dad pulls her to the side and says, hey, I just wanted to give you a little something. Check for $1 million. And you're like, well, what else? Nah, man, stop. Because the white Jewish community is like, my kids. Nigga, I'm doing this for my kids. This is what I'm doing this for. You know what I mean? Stop being in competition with your family. Stop being in competition with your next door neighbor that's a brother that's trying to get it like he did. Be in competition with the other racial groups that are oppressing you every day through the 9 areas of people activity. That's how they are oppressing you. So man, we gotta understand that shit, man. Wake up. Look, it's not hard to be a homeowner. You know what the hard part is? Maintaining being a homeowner. That's what the hard part is. Motherfuckers always ask me that, man, it's hard. No, that part is not hard. Buying a crib ain't hard. It's maintaining, keeping the crib, paying the mortgage every month. Now, some would say, well, how's it hard? You know what I'm saying? You pay rent every month. Exactly. Exactly. You got to pay wherever you go anyway. We just need better forms where we can sit down as black folk and have CPAs and accountants, black accountants and CPAs, not just black accountants, white accountants. It don't matter who it is. Sit down and talk to our brothers and sisters about, look, this is very achievable for you. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you something. I remember, I would say about 17 years ago, you know, when I was talking to a lot of black people that own homes, and they were like, look, the thing about owning a home is as they adjust interest rates and all that other shit, you get a fixed rate. Your shit don't adjust. So if you paying $1,200 in 2004, you paying $1,200 now, and everybody else is paying $1,900. That's the good part. And I never forgot that. I was like, oh, damn, so your stuff, you know, because I didn't know nothing about homes. They're like, yeah, man, it's a fixed rate. So your stuff never goes up, never goes down. It just stays the same. I'm like, oh, and they're like, so, you know, right now, because back then rent was a lot cheaper. So it was more beneficial to get you an apartment because rent was a lot cheaper than owning a home at one point in time. Now it's a lot cheaper to rent an apartment than owning a home because the interest rates are so high. But when they go lower, you know, you kind of want to look into that. I just think we need to wake up and understand what is going on. Look around you, man. I can tell you in my neighborhood, it's a few black families. They quiet, they keep to themselves, but it's a lot of dominant society people that live in my neighborhood. It went from a lot of Latinos to now a lot of Asians and a lot of dominant society people moving. He's like, why you say that? Because this is what they do. This is what they do. Remember that. Don't think you buy a house for $500,000, and in 2 years you see the economy going up, and you're like, oh shit, my shit gonna be worth $700,000. Okay. Now the dominant society has something to do with it. They gonna price your shit so fucked up where you gonna be like, damn, that's all I get for my shit? This is just things that we need to learn and understand, not everybody else. When people are telling you stuff, man, listen. Whether it's bullshit or not, and vet it out for yourself. I've been saying this for my minute now, man. I was having a shout out to Nuke. You know, we had these conversations every time we sit down and chill. Like, look, man, home ownership is very important, man. Generational wealth, I don't have it. I can't talk about generational, I don't have it. Mom's passed away, didn't leave a nigga shit. Didn't leave none of my siblings, we didn't get nothing. So, nigga, I had to work hard and grind and do the shit myself. Because I kind of already knew that mom's wasn't finna be on no life insurance policy or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. A lot of people, they have generational wealth. I'm not a hater. I'm a congratulator. If that's what you have coming to you, congratulations, man. I don't have that. So I don't view my life that way. I view my life as if I don't have anything, no generational wealth, no nothing coming to me, man, because I remember one of my Italian OGs, man, I used to work with him, and he was like, Warren G., you know, you gotta fucking live your life as if nobody's gonna fucking do anything for you, man. You'll feel better in the fucking morning, Warren G. He's from New York, Louis. And he told me that this was like 2011, 2010, 2011. He was telling me that. He was like, I got a lot of family members like that, and it just caused a lot of problems. And if you live your life as if nobody's gonna give you nothing, whatever somebody gives you is just a luxury. You know what I mean? And I never forgot that. That's why, you know, I don't be expecting nothing from nobody. You know what I mean? Get you another stream of revenue too. You know what I'm saying? If you have a little something part-time hobby you want to do, you can make some money doing it, do that shit. So you can get you a crib and you ain't got to be worried about them going up on your rent, doing all that. Because they do a lot of sucker shit with these apartments, man. They do a lot of grimy sucker shit. They'll start you off at, oh man, we only gonna charge $750. You're like, all right, cool, $750, pay that, I'm straight. And then the next year, it's $850. And then you're like, all right, $850 ain't too bad. And then, nigga, by your third year, you paying $1150. And you're like, all right, man, goddamn. And then by the fifth year, you paying $13, $14. Like, that's a grip. That's a grip. And for those that can help people, help. If you choose not to, that's between you and whoever you don't want to help. I have no dog in that fight. The only thing I can tell you is grind hard and understand that they're going to move the goalposts when you buy your property regardless to what you say. But hey, man, I went way over my time. Shout out to everybody out there. You already know what it is. You know what it ain't. Hey, Dave for No Compromise, man. This is another subject we need to be talking about. It's very important. They are trying to lock and box us out of this real estate game. They don't want black folk owning no type of property, no land, no nothing. They would be very satisfied if out of 40 million black Americans, only 500,000 of us own homes and everybody else owns shit. And that's what they want. Matter of fact, they want 100,000 people out of 40 million because they don't want us owning land and property and having wealth and generational wealth that we can pass down to our kids. They don't want that. They don't, because if they did, it wouldn't be redlining and gentrification every goddamn 5 minutes. But hey, man, love, live life. Shawnee, Philly in the building, stand up. Erica, Tasha, Mariah, Cuzzo, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know about this real estate game. Y'all know this shit is very imperative for black folk. Each one teach 21. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart because I don't have generational wealth. So I know what it is to actually have to get up, go to work every day, work another job, then work a third job, then, save your money. You don't get a chance to watch or do any fucking thing. Your whole life is devoted to trying to buy a property. Then after you buy the property, it's like, all right, well, now you got it, nigga. So figure out how you gonna keep it. So now you gotta work hard just to maintain it and keep it. Man, it's a very, very stressful lane. But as Robert Frost, 2 roads diverged in the yellow woods, I took the one less traveled. We have to have that type of mentality. And when you take that road, stand on it and do it. And don't let people try to talk you out of it. And don't sit around waiting on people. That's the thing that I've learned too. Being around a lot of black homeowners when I was working at Doolittle, it was a gift and a curse because it made you feel some type of way, but it inspired you. So I was around a lot of homeowners that were owning homes, and that was the one thing that I was told that too. Not just by my Italian OG, but by other, older people that own homes. Like, don't wait around on people. If that's your goal and that's what you want to do, don't wait around. Just go do it. And then when you do it, the thing that I learned the most, I got it from my Italian OG. I got it from a lot of different people. The homie Big Jerry, from other people too. Like, don't wait around on people. I remember that one day. I remember I was sitting in my OG Big Jerry. Oh man, I was sitting in his Escalade. He had a fresh ass Escalade. This was like 04, and he was like, Warren G, real deep voice. Hey Warren G, you want to buy a crib, you want to buy homes, start focusing and get on your shit now, and don't wait. Certain people gonna say they're gonna help you. Certain people say they're gonna whatever you need. These people are not gonna be around when you need them. Just go do it on yourself. You're gonna be stressed out. It's gonna be a lot. You're gonna be by yourself a lot. But in the end, when you look 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, can't nobody tell you nothing. I remember one time, I'll say this and I'm gonna go. David, you probably gonna lie. I remember he told me, he said, look, this nigga, he told me that, and my Italian OG said something very similar. He was like, right now, you're doing it, even if you do something or whatever, you have somebody living with you, that's fine. But remember, that's your shit. So they can leave whenever the fuck they want. And you the one that's stuck there paying it. So don't be depending on other motherfuckers. That's what he told me. And I was like, why? He's like, because, man, that shit is in your name. So you got to pay it irregardless as if they're living there or not. He's like, but after you look years down the line, there's going to be a different respect that comes along with you owning a home because you did it. You did it. He's like, and people are going to assume like, oh, you got a bitch living there. It doesn't matter what they assume. It's about what you know and what you did. And let me tell you, years later, Big Jerry was right. My Italian OG was right. That's a fact. Years later, you like, damn, he right. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter who's spending the night or whatever, nigga, you got to pay that regardless. Because the shit is on you. But you gonna have to pay, but you gonna get the respect that is well deserved. And I feel like that's what we need to do, and that's what we need to focus on. We need to love, live life, stay in our lane. Don't be looking at somebody else's lane unless you're learning from it. Stop counting other people's pockets. I'm tired of watching on Twitter, motherfuckers always want to be talking about, oh, well, where is this at, and where's that, and where's this? It's like, damn, man, just worry about what the fuck you need to be worried about. Hey, man, that's my time. I'm really over. Love, live life. You already know what my words are. If you're out there sandboning and soft showing, you already know I got one thing for you. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.